Hello, hello. How are you doing? My name is Lindsay and I'm with Perfectly Pastry. If you don't know who Perfectly Pastry is, we are a local bakery in Waterloo, Illinois. How is everybody doing? Thank you for hopping on. If you're watching me live, use a heart. Let me know, hey, I'm watching live. If this is the first time you've ever caught me live, use number 1. Let me know, like, hey, I've never actually caught you live. Thank you for hopping on. And if you're watching me on replay, use hashtag replay. Let me know. I didn't get to watch you live, but I did watch your live. So thank you guys so much for hopping on. How are you all doing? I hope you're having a wonderful week. I know some of you have started getting some of your cooler weather. I'm kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually been really, really hot. Like this week, we've been in like the 90s or hotter. It's been crazy, really humid. I'm hoping the cooler weather in Florida will be coming soon. Who knows? Probably not, but that's okay. So I have two main things I'm going to talk about today. I know that I try to tell you guys, I won't talk about business stuff, but I am going to slip in a little bit of business stuff and then I'll slip in some baking stuff today. How's that? Like we'll come and meet in the middle, half and half. Okay. Okay. So last week we talked about some fall activities that like I do with my kids and things like that. And both my sister and I were on TikTok and we saw this really cool idea. So last week I talked about how we have like carved like faces into apples. And then my kids, we made apple cider with them and we put them in the apple cider. And then we were on TikTok because yes, I've told you before, like we are suckers for TikTok. Like I scroll on TikTok mindlessly while I work out every night. That's like my like decompress time. I just like mindlessly scroll. Anyways, while I was doing that, both my sister and I separately found this really fun TikTok. I linked it in the description. It is to make, you take the purple potatoes and you carve a face into them and you hold them out and you almost make like a twice baked potato and you put it back in the little carved potato. I keep wanting to say pumpkin. That's not a pumpkin, it's a potato. So you put it back in the potato and it kind of like oozes and stuff, but it's purple. You use like the purple potato. So it's really fun Halloween. So if you're like, oh my gosh, my kids would really love that, I want to suggest it. I'm thinking about making it in my house too. Like I said, I have like really tried to stay away from carbs, but you know what? It's for fun. And so I think I'm going to make it for my kiddos. I'm not even sure my middle child will eat it because she's like very picky and color is something that's like a hang up for her when it comes to food. But I thought maybe if she like help me make them and stuff, she might try them. So I'm really excited. They're so cute. Anyways, I did link it in the description on this video. So I want you to go back and watch it if you're interested. Just so you guys know, we are excited. We are going to be attending our first event in Waterloo. It has been a very long time since we've been to events. The whole COVID thing had everything like kiboshed and opening our storefront and then moving our storefront. So we are really excited because we are going to be at our first event in Waterloo. We are going to be at the 2021 PumpkinFest. We are one of the food vendors there. So yes, our shop will still be open, but we're also going to have a booth up during the event. So really excited about that. We have not finalized everything that we're going to have there, but we've been talking about it and we're working on a lot of it. So we are excited. Yes. And I'm really excited because my nieces are going and so they're going to like tell me everything they saw. Like I said, I love fall and I love like fall festivals and things like that. And we don't really have a lot of them out here. And so I'm really bummed about that. Plus it's like really hot. It's really hard to be like, it's fall when you're just like profusely sweating because of humidity and stuff like that. So I'm going to live vicariously through my nieces. We're going to FaceTime and they're going to show me around and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. So that's going to be October 9th. It runs from 9 to 4 p.m. And so yes, we are going to have a booth there and we want to invite all of you guys to stop by, say hi, and talk to us. I'm not sure who's going to run the booth yet. We're still working out the details. I know it's like, whoo, girls, wait till last minute. But you know how it goes. It's like, oh, we've got time to think about that. And then I was like, my mom was like, hey guys, like that's next weekend. And I was like, what? And like, we were like in panic mode. And then I was like, oh, we have a whole nother weekend between there. And my sister's like, no, we don't. And I'm like, no, there's no way October 9th is next weekend. And she's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, no, it's not. And she's like, open up your calendar. I like to argue because I opened up my calendar and I was like, she's right. I'm wrong. So now we're back to like, oh, we got to finalize this stuff. It's a thing. It happens. It's fine. It'll be fine. We're fine. We're all fine. Yes. Anyways, so I want to invite you guys to all stop by and say hi, whether you stop by in the shop, stop at the booth, both. you can do that too. Because it's going to be located away from the shop, we're not going to have our cheesecakes and stuff like that. So if you are interested in the cheesecakes, you will have to walk to the shop. And I'm going to tell you the cheesecake is absolutely worth it. If you don't know this about our cheesecake, I'm going to fill you in on a secret. We got rid of the graham cracker crust that a traditional cheesecake has, and we actually use gooey cake bottoms. They make them so much better. Like, I don't even know. Can you say so much better? Better and so much. I don't know. It doesn't matter because they are. That is what it is. So, all right, I'm going to talk my little business thing. I'm going to nerd out on some business real quick with you guys because that's just what I do. All right, so I am currently reading Get Different by Mike Michalowicz. It just released. Mike Michalowicz is an author I've talked about before. He wrote Profit First, and he wrote Clockwork. That was the other one we read. So we read both Profit First and Clockwork. I have talked about them a bunch of times. I've actually had people give me feedback like, oh my gosh, I read Profit First like you told me to. It's been great for my business. We do it in our business. Like we love Profit First. Run Your Business Like Clockwork actually helped us prepare for when my mom went out of the country. So thank goodness we read that book so we could be way more prepared than what we would have actually been had we not read that book. Now, don't get me wrong. My sister and I were running around like chickens with a head cut off, but we were way more prepared than what we thought we were going to be thanks to that book. Yes. It's all about like creating videos and systems and making sure everybody knows what they're doing and being held accountable for their positions and things like that. Profit First is all about making sure that you're paying out into different profit accounts, that you have the money necessary to pay certain bills and pay yourself and things like that. Highly suggest that. I did link in the description links to those, just so you know they are affiliate links. If you're not sure what affiliate links are links that you can use to make the purchase. When you make that purchase using one of our links, we do get a small commission from that. It is at no additional cost to you, but it is just another way to help support us and help grow our business. They are, like I said, books that we have read and we've actually implemented in our own business. So it's not like I'm just giving you fluff books. Now, with that being said, I listened to Profit First. I read Clockwork, okay? I love listening to his audiobooks. Now, I am a huge fan of reading because like when I want to do something and I'm just like sitting around, I love to read. So when I have an audiobook, it's a bit of a bummer if I don't have, I'm really bad about getting the audiobook and the actual hard copy book so that I can listen to it when I'm busy, but read it when I'm not busy. And I did not do that for this, but I listened to Profit First and I absolutely love the way that Mike reads his books. It's very much like a podcast. So he is very funny. He's very goofy. He's always ad-libbing and adding extra stuff. And he makes me laugh. Like I don't laugh a whole lot in business books. Every book I read of his, he makes me laugh. He has the same sense of humor as I do. So like, I totally love reading his stuff. And I love it even more when I listen to it because it's like listening to a podcast. Like it's not like listening to a boring business book. So I highly suggest if you don't really want to read it to listen to it. With that being said, I actually got it for free through Audible. I dropped a link in the description. If you have had an Audible account, you might not be able to do this, but you can sign up for a free trial and get the book and then listen to it. I haven't had an Audible account in like a year. Like I haven't used Audible. And I went ahead and thought, well, I'll just give it a try. And I got it for free. So I got the Get Different book for free because I signed up for a free trial. And then it gave me an extra credit. So then I got the Pumpkin Plan, which is one of his books that I've been really dying to read. And I hadn't actually been able to read it yet. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I was actually able to secure 2 books for free. So I was really excited about that. I gave you the link in the description. Hopefully it works for you. I don't know. All right. Now that I have gone through how to get those books, let's get to the point. Get Different is a marketing book. And it's actually a marketing book that I really, really love because if you have ever like had a conversation with us about how we market in our business, you know that we come up with some really crazy ideas in our business. I'm all about like, what can we do different? What can we do different that A, saves us some money because we don't have a ginormous marketing budget to work with? And how can we draw people in? How can we connect with them? I'm all about marketing in a way to connect with our customers. I want to know our customers. I want them to be part of our journey. I want them to feel connected to us. And like, I really, really focus on that with my marketing. Now, with that being said, I have no marketing degree. None whatsoever. I just like go and watch what somebody's doing in an industry and be like, let me try that in my own business. And as a matter of fact, that is exactly what Get Different marketing is all about. It's all about looking at other industries and being like, they do this well. How can I apply that to my own business? And for me, I loved it. Everything Mike has to say is a lot of the things that we're doing. And it just helped me be like, okay, we are on the right path with our marketing. Okay. So with that being said, I really, 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 really would love, this is what I really would love. I would really love some other people to read Get Different with me. If you own a business, I would love to have a powwow session with you. One of the things they talk about in the book is getting together with a bunch of other business owners or like a small group of business owners and sitting down and like brainstorming together and helping everybody come up with marketing plans that are following like the Get Different path. So what you do is you like get in a group, you tell your business, and then you put yourself on mute and you turn off your camera if you're on a Zoom, or like you turn your back to the group and you just let them tell you ideas and you just write them down. And in doing so, their ideas are supposed to help you start generating ideas and things like that. I absolutely love this, and I would love to do this with other business owners. So if you're watching this or you know somebody who is like, oh, they love to do different kinds of marketing, like tag them. I really, really want to get together with a small group and do this. Like I love giving ideas to other business owners. Like it's one of my favorite things to do is just be like, oh, have you tried this and this and this and this? And people are like, oh my gosh, I haven't. I love that idea. And I'm like, give me some ideas. And then sometimes they give me ideas. Sometimes they don't, but that's not the point. The point is I just love to sit around and do that. And so if you're a business owner or if you know somebody who would love to do that with me, please let me know. I'm like totally nerding out on this. I'm like, where do I find somebody else who will sit around and do this with me? So I'm going to put that out on Facebook. I would love, love, love for somebody to do one of these like brain power meetings with me if you're interested. Okay. Fine. I will stop with the nerdy business talk and get down to the baking talk. Okay. So just if you're interested, get different. I loved reading it. I'm like, I think I have like 2 hours left of the book, but I love it. My husband is reading it. My mom will be reading it soon. And then my sister will have to read it after that. My sister's not as big on reading. So I'm just going to be like, listen to the audiobook. You'll like it. All right. I'm done. I promise I'm done. Okay. All right. So we'll get down to the baking part of this. So I was like, all right. It's Wednesday. What am I going to talk about on my live? And my sister's like, stop doing this. I tell you guys this every week because we literally have the same conversation every week. And so I was like thinking about what I wanted to do. And so I have decided that I'm going to give you guys 3 baking tips. Okay. So the holidays are coming up. We're going to all be baking soon. Well, I'm assuming everybody's going to be baking soon. If you don't want to bake, stop by, we'll make it for you. But if you plan on baking, I thought I would give you just 3 tips, and maybe I'll do this for the rest of the holiday season, give you 3 tips to help you with your baking. Okay. This first one I'm going to give you, you may be like, that's not really a tip, but you'd be surprised how many people ask us about this. And since it is a spice that is used during holiday baking the most, we see it the most during this time, I wanted to talk about it. Nutmeg. Nutmeg is not a nut. Despite what the name is, it is not a nut. It actually is a seed that is ground up into the spice that you use in your baking. Some people are like, oh, is nutmeg a nut? So rest assured it's not. It's actually a seed. So if you have a nut allergy, you should be fine because it is not a nut. It is a seed. Now, I am not a medical professional. You're more than welcome to ask your doctor about it, but I just want to let you know it is a seed and not a nut. All right. A lot of recipes that have pumpkin in it call for nutmeg. A lot of your holiday baking is going to call for nutmeg. And so I just wanted to let you know that. Number 2, I have said this over and over and over and over again, and I will say it all the time. Use weight. Use weight when you are baking. There are lots of reasons on why you should use weight when you're baking. I have a whole podcast about it. I have a whole YouTube video about it. I think I even have 2. I've done a demonstration on it. I've done a live demonstration on it. When you use a cup to measure things out, that cup is not consistent every single time. It just is it air gets into it, it can put your baking off, okay? When it comes to baking, if you want to bake consistently, so if you need to bake more than 1 batch of something and you'd like everybody to be served the same type of product, use weight. That helps eliminate some of the differences that you get from batch to batch. So weight is what you want to do. Get rid of the cups. If you're thinking like, how am I going to do that? This is how you do it. Okay. If you have no weight on it, it's fine. It's really not that hard. Say you're like, all right, I'm going to have to make 2 or 3 batches of this. When you're making your recipe, you scoop your cup, you put like okay, so the way I do it is I have my scale. I have a food scale. They're super cheap to pick up at Walmart. You take a bowl, put it on the scale, you zero it out. You take your 1 cup of flour and you put it in. And if it asks for 2, scoop another one and see what the weight is. Write that down on your recipe. You're going to do that for every single ingredient on your recipe. I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, is this so time consuming? It's not that bad, I promise. So once you do that for the first time, you don't have to do that again. Next time, you're just going to weigh it out. You're not going to have to scoop and weigh. You're just going to go, okay, great, I'm at my weight. This is what I need. Okay, so you got to do it once. It's measure once and then you're good to go, okay? But you're going to have to convert that recipe the first time. But it is really important. If you need a consistent product, you need to be using weight. And that prevents everybody from getting a really, really good one and a really, really big one and a really, really small one. Just make it all consistent. Okay. So yes, that is a very big trick in the baking industry. We use weight. We don't use cups. We don't use teaspoons, tablespoons, things like that. All right. The third tip that I'm going to tell you about, we use a lot of fruit in baking, right? So the people get turned off by, that's probably not the proper phrase, but like people don't want to eat browned fruit, right? That bruising, that brown fruit. It's actually a very natural process when the enzymes hit air. It's a whole process anyways, but it's still edible, but it's not very appetizing, right? So you can prevent browning in your fruit if you use lemon juice on your fruit or another acidic type of solution to help prevent the browning. A lot of people know that, but if you're newer at baking, or say you're like, I'm going to bake for the holidays for my family for the first time and I'm just kind of feeling overwhelmed, that's just a little tidbit of information. You can still use the fruit if it's browning. I want you to know that it's still perfectly fine, but some people just feel like it's not appetizing. I don't want to eat it like that, and I get it. So just use some lemon juice or, like I said, another acidic solution so that you can stop or help slow down that browning process. Okay. All right. Those are your 3 tips for the holiday baking. I will be working on some more tips to share with you guys throughout the holidays. If you guys are watching me live, you should be liking and following me on Facebook. If you're on Facebook just every once in a while and you're like, it's not really my jam, I get it. We're on other social media. Facebook is the only one that we're at Perfectly Pastry Bakery. All the other social media is at Perfectly Pastry. Yeah, so I want you to invite you, if you're following us and liking us on Facebook, come check us out on some of our other social media. We've been hanging out a lot on Instagram. If you haven't checked out our reels, I want to invite you to check out our reels. My sister has been trying to make reels for me daily so that we can post them. She was like, girl, I can't always think of these things. And I'm like, just copy this one and this one. And I love this one. And can't you use this sound? And she's like, oh my goodness, you are killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Yes, that is a throwback to one of my favorite lines in a movie. There you go. All right, you guys, I'm going to hop off of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you next week. Thank you.